Right then, bookers, it is October, Spooktober, so we have just left work. We're going out to the library to do a September reading recap. Every day when you walk out of the mortuary is a good day. See you soon. Well, folks, we're out heading towards the library. It's a little bit inclement. Hope you can hear me. We're gonna go just up this valley here. Howden Dam is behind us, where the dam busters flew. And we're gonna go to a little bridge. We'll hide under the bridge and I'll do my September reads. I have been very naughty and bought a massive pile of books, but there's too many. They'll need the separate one, which I might do in the middle of the week. Oh, stream's quite high. And I will do that in the middle of the month and get back to you. But let me get to where we're going to sit and speak to you soon. What size of that? Pretty big. Another little one there. Little red caps there for you on the way. We're obviously threading our way through the library, we're in the fungus and ornithology section. I've got my Three Musketeers beard on. So we're just coming up to Slippery Stones Bridge. Just here, look. Under the bridge at the minute. In front of me, behind me, is the wind's blowing up. It's blowing all the leaves off the trees, like swirling them around in this little vortex from the bridge to them pines. Reminds me of the Bally. We went to the Bally years ago, me and my missus, and at Swan Lake, where the girls in the tutus sweep across the stage. It's meant to be leaves blowing on the water. Absolutely brilliant, and that always reminds me of them girls in the ballet doing that. Fantastic. But anyway, we're at Slippery Stones second arch on the Packhorse Bridge. it's a bit wet, but it don't matter, does it? We're in the library. Somewhere different. Let me get my stuff and I'll get back to you. Here we are then. September reading catch. 2 bags. It's been quite a good month. I've only had one book that I thought was a bit poor, but that's a self-help book. And I'm not big on self-help books. So that's probably why I thought it was a bit poor. Just dry my hands off. Got an apple in my bag. So I started the month off. Let me get on my clobber. In library. So I started the month off with The Practice of Not Thinking, A Guide to Mindful Living by Ryunosuke Koike, however you butcher that last name. And it's I think he's a Zen Buddhist, writes loads of books on how to be a better person, really. I'm into my poetry, my Japanese, Chinese poetry mainly for me. I have read some of this kind of material before, but it was very samey and not very relevant to me. So would I recommend it? Yeah, if you're a young person, you've got very few commitments and you want to make your place in the world, well then yeah, it's got some right good points. But for someone that's going to be 60 in a few months, who was very stuck in his ways, not particularly appealing. Sorry. Skim over this one. Second book. Now, I read this when we've just been on holiday down to Glastonbury, which was brilliant. My wife, she was getting into buying and looking for the books that I'm after. So we had a brilliant holiday, second-hand bookshops, cream teas, hippies, Glastonbury Cathedral, great. So this one is Inverted World by Christopher Priest, and it's set in the far, far future. There's been a massive catastrophe, and you're led to believe that most of humanity live in this. To them, it's a huge building that is transported on tracks, and they get local labour from the villages that they pass to help take the rails up at the back, move them across the front. And it's a very enclosed society that they live in. The men are put into groups. Some are in charge of finding the way, some are in charge of laying the tracks, some are in charge of bartering for people to help. And then you've got the ones that aren't particularly entitled, or the family doesn't come from one of them groups, and they keep to the running of the inverted world. And it revolves around this young man, named can't remember his name. But anyway, this young man, he comes out of the orphanage, marries a girl from the orphanage, is expected to, it's a bit crazy, to get her babbed up and prolong the moving of the inverted world. Because if they stop in one place, he doesn't know this yet, but he has to take certain people back to the village, and he finds that at a certain distance from the centre, which is always moving in this earth, everything goes to holy bejesus. Trying to say this without spoiling it. And it's his development as from a young man coming out of the orphanage to working outside. He finds that he's a track finder, finds the easiest path. He meets this other woman, and his world's turned upside down. Gripping read until the last chapter, and it is one of them again. It just ends so suddenly, and I was like, didn't he know how to finish it? I had to Google the finish, what other people had recommended the finish was, but it was still very vague. So the ending let this down for me, but up until then, fantastic read, a really good read, masterworks from the second-hand bookshop. So it won, I think it was £4, not $8.99. I think it was actually $3.99 now. This next book is I'm reading a lot of Huxley at the minute. I've got most of his, and once a month I'm going to try and read one of his books. I read The Island, now I've read Croon Yeller, which is about a poet, Dennis Stone. He gets invited to Croon, which is a massive, I'll just put that in there because it's getting wet. It's a massive country estate house, if you like. I wanted to do this at Chatsworth House, which reminds me very much of Croon. But it's too far away, and it's pissing it down. So we're under a bridge instead. But yeah, it's about this young poet who goes to Croon very much as they did just after the Second World War, the entitled, rich of society, the upper echelons, and they live it large in this enormous house. There's an artist, him, some young bloke that writes books, and he's made his money, and it's in off me. And it's how he copes. He's in love with one of the characters here, who's stopping. Anne Wimbush. She's one of the people, daughter of the people that own Croom. He's in love with her. And it's about this young man who's trying to find his place in society just after the war. He's not happy. All the other people in the story are not happy. And it's how they get along. Brilliant. To say it's Huxley's first novel, I loved it. Right, loved it. It's got some brilliant lines in it. Let me just see if I can quickly find one. Let me just see. So he's describing Mr. Scoggin. His nose was beaked, his dark eye had a shining quickness of a robin's, but there was nothing soft or gracious or feathery about him. The skin of his wrinkled brown face had a dry and scaly look. His hands were the hands of a crocodile. Fantastic. There's another one where he's talking about the upper classes. Oh, there's one here. What is reading but a vice, like drink or verni, or any other form of excessive self-indulgence? One reads to tickle and amuse one's mind. Above all, to prevent oneself thinking. And this old fella's talking there. I love that. One reads above all to prevent oneself thinking. Brilliant. So that's the third book I read by Huxley from second-hand bookshop. I think this was $2.99 bargain. Lucky last. I brought forward my Edgar Rice Burroughs reading. I'm reading Pelucidor and all the characters that inhabit Pelucidor, which is the centre of the earth, isn't molten metal. There's another land inhabited by people and everything like that. I've just read Tanner of Pellucidar, and this is about a young man, Tanner. It's Edgar Rice Burroughs, so Tanner isn't your ordinary man. He's a prince. He's hard as nails. He's really good looking, and he's gonna get the women. There's a big battle, and he ends up being kidnapped, taken by another tribe, and kept as prisoner. While he's on the boat, he spots beautiful woman. She's obviously the captain's daughter. The captain is how does he call it? he is the chieftain of the coursers. He's the Cid. C-I-D. I'm getting covered in these little creepy crawlers. But he's the gaffer of this tribe of pirates. And of course, it's the scrapes that this young man, Tanner, goes through. He escapes the boat, escapes the underworld, white people. He loses the princess. He gains the princess. He loses the princess. He finds another girl who's equally beautiful, the son of the leader of another tribe, who's in love with him. He gets captured again, thrown into the dungeon with snakes all around him. He escapes from that. And the ending is him going back to his group and setting up a rescue mission. Fantastic. Edgar Rice Burroughs. It's just page turning. You don't have to think about it, as he says in there. It's just a brilliant story. What else? Yes, so if you've never read Edgar Rice Burroughs, highly recommend it. Just switching off and reading. He's brilliant. Anyway, that's all the books I read in September. Put them back in there. It's still raining. We're out in the library. Excellent. I'm just going to take a walk up this valley a bit further. And yeah, see you on the next one. Thank you for all subscribing. Comments. I've had a few comments. Brilliant. Like, subscribe, share. Keep reading.